and Gainey here. We'll go right into questions.
Coach, are these guys much different from first year under Adrian Autry? Can you tell them a lot about that?
Yeah, they are. I think they are. They seem to be. Again, he was just taking it over last time we played him, and this year you could tell he's starting to implement kind of his philosophies and what he wants to do, and I think his guys are responding. Obviously, everybody at this time of year is trying to figure themselves out and figure out who they are, but they're tough. They guard not only zone but in man, and they have some guys that that are more than capable of having big nights. So they feel to be a more connected group this year.
You anticipate y'all being a strong offensive rebounding as y'all been to this point?
Well, you know what? I did, just because it's something we went into the summer really emphasizing, and something that we wanted to be better at. We've always talked about it. Last season, we talked about it a lot. But again, this summer, it started this summer, and we put a big emphasis on it in everything we do, in every practice, talking about it after practices, after games, putting a big emphasis on it. And so it's good to see that it's translating. And I think from a personnel standpoint as well, we have some guys that may be better offensive rebounders than we had last year. So I think that plays a part as well.
The SEC Coaches Conference that you attended was headlined by some really great SEC coaches across different sports. Just what did you learn, and how has that conference just helped you this season?
You talking about the thing I went to in Atlanta? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it was good. It was really good. Got to hear a lot of good information from some special speakers, and so it just gave me a whole new perspective on the profession, on things that I could do better. It's all about growing. We ask these guys in the summer to get better at their craft, and sometimes we kind of take that for granted too. So it was a great opportunity for me to grow and develop, and also be around other coaches in our league, and also as you talk about them, you start to see even more how special Tennessee is, and just hearing the things they have at their school and all that stuff. It just it brings to light how special our situation is.
I know you've got a lot going on here with your team, but what's been your early thoughts on how the SEC as a whole has started off, and with the SEC ACC challenges? Is that just a label that we look at, or is there a little extra sense of pride and maybe trying to boast that you all are maybe the best conference in America?
Yeah, it is a sense of pride. I think I wouldn't say that we don't pay attention to it. We do. Like, our league is a monster. Every year I always think, man, how can it get any better? And it does every year. And so when we're not playing those guys in our league, I root for them. I want them to do well, because I know how tough and how brutal our league is, and how competitive it is. And so it is a good chance for us to, as a league, to see where we kind of stack up. So we take pride in it, and especially in non-conference, of representing our league.
Coach, you had to grow up with some ACC bias, growing up there, playing there. So, how's your perspective changed as you've worked in this league and got familiar with it?
Yeah, growing up in North Carolina, it's ACC country, right? You grow up and that's all you see. And me not being a big football guy, I didn't really have a complete understanding of what SEC meant, from that standpoint. And so, yeah, I grew up as an ACC fan, and I played in the ACC, but it's been eye-opening to watch the development of the SEC through the years. And with me being in this league, going to my fourth season, to see the basketball just take off and arguably be the best basketball league in the country. When you look at ranked teams, when you look at guys getting drafted, when you look at style of play, when you look at the physicality and the competitiveness of every game, it'd be hard to argue that SEC getting up there at the top. And so it's been great being a part of this league, and being in the SEC and being able to compete at a high level in it.
How would you assess what D Stone has given y'all so far, and what are kind of the next steps for him?
Yeah, D Stone really excited. You know, he had to step away a little bit for some personal issues, which we totally understand and respect. And it's great to have him back in the fold. You know, his teammates love him. You know, on and off the court. I mean, he's just a great young man. But you know, getting him back in has been good, giving us a little more depth inside, and you know, at his position, the ability to shoot the basketball and stretch the floor. And just another scoring option. So I'm excited about that. Want to see him continue to grow defensively and continue to attack the glass and just be that versatile guy that he is.
Where do you feel Felix is at offensively right now?
You know, Felix, I think he's getting better. You know, I think he's getting better. And, you know, I think, you know, if you look at his role at Ohio State and you look at, you know, him here, you've seen growth, you know, and we know it's not going to happen overnight. I thought he had an unbelievable summer, and I was surprised at his ability to score it inside, you know, over the summer and throughout this season, you know, because I don't know if he was like a primary option for him inside or not, but so his growth has been promising, you know, and so it's with him, he's one of the hardest workers I've been around. You know, I have to practice every day. I mean, he's getting gained reps at his low post game, and so I would say in the Bahamas he probably didn't play as well as, or not play. He probably didn't score it as well as he probably wanted to, or we wanted him to. But we're not discouraged at all at it. Like, you know, he put in the work. We see it every day in practice. You know, just like shooters miss shots, you know, just because their big shots are closer to the rim, sometimes you kind of still lose perspective on how tough it is around the basket, right? And so, you know, I'm excited about him. We feel great about him and his work ethic, and we know he's going to be fine.
Felix doesn't play a lot of guys who are bigger than him. This week he's going to have a guy who's 20 pounds heavier than him. What kind of challenges does that present for Felix?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge would be on post position, right? And him maybe not being able to get him as deep as he would like off the initial duck ends for his initial catch. So he's going to have to work in different ways to get his catches where he wants them. And so that's something that, you know, we've been studying on film, he's been studying on film, and he'll be prepared to attack. And Felix strong as well. You know, he may be a little more wiry, but I mean, he's got some wiry strength that you know, and he'll be able to create some angles and kind of do what he does.
Coach Earl's efficiency numbers on both ends are off the charts. How surprised, or are you surprised you're doing that with 3 transfers that are a big part of the equation?
It's tough to say I'm surprised because I see the hard work that they put in. Obviously, when you're adding that many new guys, you worry about how quickly it'll come together. Not if it will come together, but how quickly it does. And it has kind of, you know, it's come together nicely per the numbers. And so it's good. I would credit a lot of that to Zakai kind of holding it together, right? That point guard who, you know, in his 4th year, like, he knows the system like the back of his hands, and he knows he has a great feel for like when to get guys shots, where to get them from, and then I would say just the new guys that came in being sponges, listening. We spent a lot of time in the film room. I think that has helped with it, and you know, and then in practice, you know, our practices are competitive on you know, both sides. I feel like, you know, we're as deep as we've been, and so that elevates our practice intensity and our practice levels.
How does your team change defensively when you're facing a team that doesn't necessarily seek out the 3-point shot?
It really doesn't change it too much, right? Because, you know, even teams that do hunt the 3, I think the good ones try to get a piece of the paint first, and then they kind of make that paint touch and then kick out 3. And so, you know, it really doesn't change it in that perspective as far as what we do with our help defense, what we do with guarding the basketball. You know, from a physicality standpoint, you got to be ready to bring your hard hat with these guys because they do have some physical downhill drivers with good size that you know you got to fight, man. You got to fight, and you know we tell our guys do your work early, right? Do your work early. It starts with that positioning early, whether it's on your closeout or whether it's on your post defense.
Got time for one more if someone has one.
Coach, how great is it to see just Chaz have this much success early on?
It's great, you know. It's great, and you know because when you're recruiting out of the portal, you don't necessarily know like how it will translate, if it will translate. But you know his efficiency numbers spoke for themselves when he was at North Florida, and so we felt pretty confident in it. And you know what he does at a high level, I feel like regardless of where he is, he'll be able to do it, right? And so it's exciting to see that, but it's also exciting to see Igor having success. It's exciting to see Felix having success. D Stone, right? All of those guys that are that we brought into the fold and recruited this season is great to have them. It helps us kind of, you know, from an evaluation standpoint, know what we're looking for as we move forward and what things kind of translate and hey, you know, what we see in our process of recruiting the portal has been effective, you know, to the extent. So it's great.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.